How's it going? It's Man Tomorrow here. Thank you guys for coming on to the live stream. Hit one in the chat if you could be able to hear me, so we could be able to go on with this live stream. They can do the reverse. No, I'm not on mute at all. No, I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. That's why I asked a question and I didn't get an answer to it, so I don't know what's going on. Man, oh man, man, oh man. All right, so let's go on with the show. All right, so man, y'all understand, man. Like, bro, there is an immense amount of money being made on these actual government contracts after these hurricanes hit land. An immense amount of money that's being made. Period. So what I do is I coordinate things that picks up in the Midwest or the Northwest or even the Northeast, and I take them out west to places that are hit by hurricanes or floods or any of this other stuff. That's how this system works, right? I told you guys before that there was going to become a time where things got way too hectic in the real world, where I was not going to be able to come here and keep trying to get you to do things that you know that you ought to be doing in the first place. And that's why I really unsubscribe from most of the people within the space, because at the end of the day, you guys want to talk about bitches, women that I don't even consider women at all. I consider them, I'm not sure why I consider them, but at the end of the day, most of the men in the space came out here to hang out. And I didn't come here to hang out. I came here to solve problems. So when you have a bunch of people who then come here to solve problems and then mix themselves with people who do, the entertainment piece kind of wins out like kind of every time. But that's not my fault. That's their fault, right? So in order to not really take responsibility for the actual actions that they've taken against the space, coming in here, now the stream ain't buffering for me. It's 100% for me. So you got to understand that that's how this stuff works, right? There is supposed to be an action component to the things that I'm actually saying. And most of the people who've actually left the space already, they've seen what was going on, they've seen what was happening, they noticed the actual pattern, they got their stuff together, and they moved out. That's how this stuff works. Why do you think there's 4 or 5 years of me talking about the exact same thing about separating from unproductive people, getting your stuff together and moving on? It's just that at the end of the day, you want to hang out with these people. Small section red. And you have to realize that look, there ain't nothing wrong with hanging out with people. Period. There's a lot wrong with stopping your own progress as a person and hanging out with people. That's where the actual problem is. I can't make you make these decisions in life. I can't make you Come out here and do what you're supposed to do. The only thing I can do is make sure that when I see you with a certain demographic of woman and your ass is still talking about a certain demographic of woman, that I can just impose economic sanctions on you as a person in my position. That's the only thing I can do. And move on, right? Because a lot of these people want to impose a situation where they want to pat themselves on the back about their non progress, the ability to not make progress, and then they want to blame other people for it. Like you can't blame anybody else in society. Like, dude, like those excuses kind of went out of the window. I'm Generation X. I graduated in '96. Even those excuses that most of those people talk about, they even null and void now. The reason why most of these people didn't make it in society is because they did not apply themselves. They took the excuse making process and they internalized it on their own. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Like my mother and father, they can only push the boulder up the hill in their generation a certain amount of way. My grandfather moved it up the hill a certain amount of way in his generation. My great grandfather moved it up the hill a certain amount in his generation. But if you don't know the stories of how things was and how they are now, you're going to think the actual you're going to think the problems have been standard over time, but those problems are generational. Those problems are generational. I mean, as embarrassing as it was, I mean, I remember going to chop cotton a quarter mile in the actual weekends of the spring and all during the summer. I remember that shit. Why do I remember it? Hey, father died, grandfather died, no money coming in. These are the things that we had to do to do to survive at the time. Okay, whatever's going on, man. Thanks for that 99 super sticker. But you guys have got to understand that at some point, it's not the women. At some point, it's not the men. At some point, it's not how you were raised. At some point, it doesn't matter. Because I took all those circumstances and situations that I was in, and I turned that stuff into something else. You want to know why? Most of my circumstances, I couldn't even talk to people about. Want to know why? They don't want to hear like I live like some colonialist in like the 1700s within modern society. Like they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. But this is why it's okay to move on, man. It's okay to move on. And those people, if you look back 8 years when I first got here in 2015, they're on the same stuff that they was on in 2015. Same thing. Not different. Same thing. What's going on, man? So you have to understand now that 2015 and now, we got way more solutions on the table. You got passport bros. You got SYSBM. You got expats. I'm talking about real expats, not these BS expats who's trying to be content creators online. And it's like, bro, once you move on from the complaints about women, your whole life opens up for you. Yeah, what's going on? But the problem is that most of these men, not the women, by the way, most of these men want you to be stayed back behind and celebrate them as actual leaders of the society. Most of the men want you to do that. It's not the women. The women need productive dudes in order to survive if their productivity can't really help them themselves. What's going on, Eric Bird? What's going on, Cynical? This is why it's okay to hold people to the outcome of the results that they created. If I'm a child from the Mississippi Delta and I made it to where I'm at right now, there's no way most of these people can be out here failing. Yes, I did see those individuals come into the environment. Yes, I did see those people who were my cousins who are now 15, 16, 20 years older than I am, still in way worse circumstances than they were that we were born. A lot of this stuff is their fault. A lot of it is their fault. Waiting on a woman to give up infinite power so that way you can actually feel better about yourself, that's your fault. It's not her fault. It's your fault. Going to manosphere meetups because you ain't got your shit together because there's some men who actually understand what the fuck you doing at the standpoint that you ain't doing it, dude, that's your fault. That ain't their fault. Why don't you go to an actual tech conference that ain't got bullshit associated with it? Call up some actual IT recruiters and tell them about whatever program you're talking about. These people gonna look at you like you're insane, like you're crazy. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that the foolishness is not gonna move you forward. It's gonna keep you happy. It's gonna keep you complacent. But at the end of the day, you still is going to be behind. Things going on in the world between Israel and the surrounding countries. Do you really think that the people who went to the Manosphere meetup can even talk about those issues? Of course not. Do you think the people who went there, the world actually needs? Of course not. You see, the problem is like when you start to complain about actual issues and you ain't doing what the hell you supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, you're making it seem like everyone else is supposed to put you on because you're in the position that you're in. Like, dude, you have to realize that you get investments in political power based off the amount of force that you bring to the table. So on the rock. Thanks for the follow super chat. Eric Bird, dudes chasing goofy nonsense while I'm doing 20 hours OT a week, getting to the back. Yeah, dude, I was talking to like one of my nieces. Uh, One of my nieces, I haven't talked to her in like forever. She's separated from her actual ain't shit parents, which is my sister, right? And as soon as COVID hit, she went and been a nurse, and she's been a traveling nurse ever since. We're talking about. She said she went to the actual nursing school, like as soon as everything closed down, which was I think the second or third week of March of 2020. She said she's been a traveling nurse ever since. $375,000 saved up in the bank account. You know what she was before? Working at a grocery store, not being shit. Dropped out of high school. Nobody really asked her all those questions when she started hitting them contracts. Where did she was hitting it? Scared to tell her mother how much money she made. I'm like, man, don't ever tell them how much money you make. Don't do that. Because the moment you do, they're going to walk in with the highfalutin emotion and they're going to try to take it all away from you. I'm talking about 375 in cash money. She said 100 grand a year the past 3 years. About to go buy her a house in cash. She was trying to track down some of her uncles, me being one of them. trying to figure out where we was and what it was, and that then nearly everybody in the family was trying to use it for shit. She ain't even 25. Ain't even 25. Ain't even fucking 25. She got more money in the bank than most people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Right now. No kids. Trying to figure out what to do with her life because she just been hitting the grindstone hard. The same way that I was hitting the grindstone hard when I was in the military at that time. Got out, hit the grindstone hard in several different law enforcement based career fields that I didn't like. But in her generation, she didn't need my help getting there. She just fell into a good position at a good time and kept going with it. And she's better off than both of her nothing ass parents and all of her nothing ass siblings. And most of her nothing ass goddamn aunts, who are great aunts, right? By the way. And that's the loneliest position in the world. Where you want to tell people how good you're doing, but you can't tell them how good you're doing because if you do, they're going to try to come for you and take your shit away. Now she feel lonely because she's successful. Now she feel lonely because she has nothing in common with anybody. That's how it is. Once you get your stuff together, I told her, look, I didn't have to tell her. Listen, you need to keep being around productive people. Listen, rather than going to these family functions, you need to be going uh, to visit Mexico, Japan, and all these places during the actual U.S. holidays. So that way you can regain your sanity and keep it. Because the more you go around these people, you're going to lose everything. Again, this is a person who does not have a high school diploma. She's just a traveling nurse, very bottom level. Went through the 3 week course and took up every single contract that she possibly could. When I was working 2 jobs a week, 80 hours a week, I wasn't making that much money. She works 2 jobs a week in the same area, making enough money to support herself, and she got all this money in the bank. That's what I'm saying. All these people need to be entertained at the bottom. Bro, you ain't got to worry about the people who need to be entertained. The people who need to be entertained all the time, those people are going to want to take some shortcuts because of the time that they wasted in other areas. Like I said, man, I'm not going to be able to be here like I used to. When I first started my channel 5 years ago, I had every day to be here. Every day to be here. Every day of live streams. Every day showing people what to do. Every day being on camera, taking time out of my business when I could have been driving, talking to y'all. But now it comes to the point to where I just got to write these books. I have to set down these posts, and I got to keep going up the mountain. I cannot continue to keep sitting here having bottom barrel conversations or first level conversations with people who don't get it. My bro, we went through 2 or 3 election cycles within this space. None of these people have studied the information. None of these people have gained a greater understanding. None of these people have picked a side. None of these people have showed up to even register. None of these people don't even understand what's going on. All of these people think that people being spent millions of dollars on them so that way they can sleep on floors in America is somehow a threat to their prosperity. and they've been here all their life. Bro, this time comes for everybody. That's what I'm saying. Just create an institution where people can learn from the mistakes of people from the past and just move on. I shouldn't have been here in the first place. I really shouldn't have been here in the first place. There is no reason for me to be here in the first place. Most of the stuff I have going on, dude, there's no reason for me to be here. But at the end of the day, most of the men within the manosphere wanted bullshit dudes to win. That's what they wanted. They wanted to see somebody in similar circumstances like them win. They wanted to see bullshit dudes win. That's what they wanted. Because there ain't nobody, somebody took all this game and all this nonsense from the actual manosphere and they got them a decent woman with it. That's not how that works. They went, they took this information, they went out, they practiced it, and now they're the next newly minted child support dude. Now they have to live their whole life as a living embarrassment because they follow the wrong people. Is that my fault? No. But it becomes my fault when you cannot admit that you're wrong. Been right the entire time. As the years go on, people are going to have less and less sympathy for men who don't have their stuff together. All the money that they're not spending on education, they're actually spending at the workforce center in the county to which they employ people. The same money that they refuse to spend on education, they're now spending on actually getting people the proper quote unquote education to move on to the next level. All the money that they wasn't spending in education in those communities, they could have easily rented a building out on the other side of town and taught those people the skills and ability that they are currently spending in these neighborhoods right now. And you mean to tell me that I see this thing up front and I'm not supposed to set up these actual organizations and actually make money off that? I'm not supposed to do that? I've been telling you this stuff for years. I keep telling you. Once you study and understand how this system works, you pretty much be able to apply yourself and solve the government's problems. You're not going to have any problem making money within this society. The only thing you got to do is just understand how things work. And they actually play for miniature versions of the exact same thing in these communities all the time. Right now, in my community, I am getting rid of these parks. That's right. Replacing these parks with actual centers for people to go and get job training. Remember, the community center is still there. It's just going to serve a different purpose. It used to have a basketball court. Now it's going to be computers internetworked inside of it, where companies have to pick individuals from that actual place to get more and more tax cuts from in order for them to be able to run their business. That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been doing behind the scenes. That's what I've been doing without being online reminding you about staying away from problematic women. I can't help you be comfortable and ignorant. That's not my job, bro. I got other things that I have to do. And leaving most of these people behind is exactly what I need to have been doing in the first place. But at the end of the day, most of these people have been created in these circumstances where they think paying attention to these actual individuals who's trying to get them off the path that they need to be on and building a level. of entitlement by not working for the things that you know damn well that you should be working for. Dude, that's not going to help you. That's not going to work for you. I know a lot of people like, MOT, why don't you dumb down your message? If I dumb down my message, then it's no longer my message, it's their message. I'm sorry, I can't help you hang out and be comfortable at the bottom. That's not my position here. That's not why I joined the marriage speak. At the end of the day, I think this place can still do some good. The only thing you have to do is kick all the people out of here who don't belong here. So that way things can work. Because remember, most of these people came here because of a non functioning society. And with their newly minted chance at how things work, they repeated the same exact process that got them here in the first place. I'm not sure how many millionaires you have on YouTube, various different career fields. I'm not the only one who talk about their actual field. They get no views, absolutely none. I talked to this dude. He probably make like 120 at least. He came on here to give people free information on how to do stuff, and he was shocked when he got here and that nobody wanted to put in the work. I'm like, bro, I couldn't get these people to follow either. And he was like, it's almost like I got to be a damn fool to get somebody to listen to me. I'm like, that's exactly what it is. You have to be a damn fool to get these people to listen to you. You have to phrase this actual situation and these standpoint that you're actually robbing somebody of something for anybody to listen to. Because at the end of the day, they want something for free. They want something that they didn't work for. That's what they want. And I told them, look, man, the only thing you can do is make sure that you got your own stuff together to the point to where you don't need these people's help. Because that's what it's about, really. Creating independent individuals who's independent of my opinion, people who's going to take action right away with the information that I give them. That's what's needed. But for some people, they think taking action is listening, tuning into an hour, like tuning into my live stream, which is not going to be anywhere north of 2 hours, unless people hit the link, that is. They're listening deeply for a morsel of information that they don't have to work for. So that way they could put it into action right away, so that way they could justify all the time that they wasted. Life it just don't work that way, man. It don't work that way. At the end of the day, if you do not have your stuff together, you only have your own self to blame for that. It ain't the women, bro. It ain't the women. It becomes the women after you get your shit together and realize that you cannot be undisciplined with what's out here. That's when you realize that you can't be undisciplined with everything that you built. But what happens when you have a bunch of individuals who haven't built shit, who think that life starts at once you get the woman thing figured out? That's why I didn't even do the story. I didn't do the story about that dude. I didn't even do the story about him. Because here's the thing, if you don't understand how the criminal justice system works, You can't just step to a person 27 years after somebody been shot and killed and try to put a murder on somebody, even if they said that they were there. You have to understand how the system works. That guy's gonna walk into that interviewing room. He's gonna clout chase like he was there the night of. He's gonna answer all of these questions, and nothing's gonna happen. Or he could just take a plea bargain with no time and a whole bunch of out of prison time that he needs to serve on probation for the clout, and he'll do it in a heartbeat. And then he'll wind up dead because of the clout he gained. That's how that system works. Of course, he's gonna make a deal with somebody. That's how that works. And you have to realize, like, once you start making deals with the feds, bro, you ain't to be trusted with anything. Because most of the police departments are trying to come here and solve cases. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to solve cases. They're not trying to provide justice. They're trying to solve cases. And these people only come through whenever they have something to offer the police. The same no snitching ass dudes be the same people offering up their stories to the actual police whenever they get caught. Every time. I cannot name you the amount of times where dudes just stomp somebody out trying to help out a chick. That woman has moved on to other dudes. This dude is still in jail serving up 15. It depends on what level of murder did he get with. If it's third degree, it's 10 to life. If it's second degree, 15 to life. If it's first degree, 25 to life. And the person who they bunkmates with, they done told the whole story to. That person is now testifying against them, getting their ass out of jail. These same no snitching ass dudes, right? These same no snitching ass dudes, right? Keep telling you, man, you can't trust these dudes. I'm willing to have a debate with anybody at this point. How could you celebrate hip hop culture and call yourself, at this point, wanting to see better for black people at this point? Because hip hop culture was made to celebrate individuals who did not challenge power, individuals who did not have their stuff together. They went to work for other nationalities' companies for peanuts for free. They came out and they bragged on the stuff that they did to the exact community that they did not support in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Then they bragged about celebrating their ill gotten gains for free. Then they turned around and got the same women pregnant that they were supposed to actually stay away from. Then that child grows up without a father. The mother doesn't like the child. The mother is not interested in raising the child to be a productive adult because it would humiliate her to her actual core because she didn't pick a productive dude. So why the hell would she raise one, right? And the system goes over and over and over again. Now you got the individuals who actually created those children, coming online, pretending that they want. Oh, I care about black boys. Ooh, So they got these pictures of these children painted on these shields because they care about the children that they created, that they watch being created, and everything else. Never try to solve any of these problems, never try to correct any of these issues, never try to make sure people was making correct choices and everything else. But these are the people who are community minded. Then they expect the people who they neglected their entire lives to come through and come save them after they made all these mistakes, after they damaged and destroyed the entire society. I don't debate anybody on the actual outcomes of hip hop. I don't debate anybody on the outcomes of this this type of stuff. I don't debate anybody. Because when you have a culture of weak, compliant, dumb ass men, don't even expect for things to work. Actually, things working humiliate the actual men who actually don't care about things working. And all the money that could be made off of all these problems that are created, I'm not supposed to engage in that? Are you serious? Now, I'm not going off and building private prisons, mind you, but these individuals are making it too easy for other people to actually make money off of their problems. And we were just a test case. The black community was just a test case. If you look at these white communities, if you look at these white communities in these rural areas, they're going through the same thing right now. The same exact thing right now. The same. The same thing that was happening in the late 80s and early 90s and maybe up to the 2000s. Most of these rural areas are going through the exact same thing right now. The dissolving of the family unit, the women wanting the joy boys over dudes who got their stuff together. Kids who actually looks up to the actual quick hit dudes as the actual people in society that they need to look up to. It's the same thing. The only thing that's different today is that people can make a different cultural choice and decision about who they're going to be with going forward. That's why you don't talk to them. They keep telling you, don't talk to them. You have to understand the Miranda decision. Anything that you say can and will be misrepresented and used against you. If they have the evidence against you, there's no need to talk to the police. They'll just present it to you. But if you go around running your mouth on multiple live streams and multiple interviews, they can easily get your ass crossed off into things that you don't even need to be taking responsibility for. It's going to MR Red Pill anyway. And him, he has to kind of take the deal no matter what it is. Why? He's in it for the clout, remember? Now he has to take the deal no matter what the deal it is in order to keep this lie going, regardless of his level of involvement. And yes, there are a lot of people who went to jail off taking charges that they had nothing to do with. I see this is no different than that. Absolutely no different than that. He think he's gonna serve 5 or 6 years. He's gonna get out of prison. Somebody's gonna come to him and pitch his story to Lifetime or the USA Network. There's gonna be an actual, documentary made, or maybe even a short film over 5 or 6 seasons, so that way he can keep reselling the story. I'm sorry, I don't want a death like that hanging over my head where everybody in the world knows who I am, they know where I live, they know what my face look like, they know what my kids look like, they know what my family look like, they know all this stuff. You really think that you want to duck down that type of heat for the rest of your life, man? Get out of here, bro. But then again, you can spend your life doing other things. All right. Imagine if you got here in 2015 like I was in the manosphere. Let's say that you were 19 years old in 2015. You could have went and got your CDL within 3 weeks. And you can do that right now with CDL, HVAC, learning how to do bottom level teeth cleaning, all the kind of stuff. It's still the same system. It's going wrong. I'm sorry. Let's say 2015 that you spent those 3 weeks in a targeted career field choice of getting your stuff together. The moment you have this stuff together, maybe you're making 15, maybe 17, maybe 20, $25 an hour, depending on what state you're in. You finally have the means and the ability to move out and stop having roommates. You finally get to an organization where you can actually invest in the organization and actually move up within that process. The only thing you have to do is not hanging out with the old folks after you get your stuff together, right? 8 years ago, 2015. Let's say we had 2018. 2018, you pick up some additional skills. You've been in your career field for 3 years, you know what's going on. You finally start taking jobs on the weekend, working with another crew, doing exactly what you're doing at work, but you're just doing it at the weekend. Now, understanding that this weekend work pays a hell of a lot more than work during the week. Me, if my truck breaks down right now, it's $450 minimum to have a truck come out here on the weekend. 450 minimum. You think that's not the same that if you need an actual HVAC person to come out if your AC goes out? You think that's the same if you have a leak in your basement to have somebody come out to check on that leak? It's the same. Blue collar work pays a hell of a lot of money after hours and on the weekend. Remember, this is 4 years into you having your skill. This is 2018. Let's say 2020. You have your contacts together where you can now work a couple of times during the week for a company on a contract basis, and you can still make over 6 figures working a couple of times a week. You're a 1099 employee. You can work for a couple of different companies within the area. You have your card out with everybody, right? Doesn't matter whether you're HVAC, doesn't matter whether you're an actual CDL driver, doesn't matter whether you can work on computers, contract basis. I did the same thing after I was a project manager. That's where you at, 5 years. Let's say that we're at a couple years after that. Get yourself a building. You start hiring the old people that you had within the actual career field that you was in. You have so many connections within the industry that you can hire competent individuals to work for your company. You have a good enough reputation to where people are hiring your staff that it's not working all that well to come do their jobs after hours for them, because that does happen all the time. Now you're just hiring people in, and every person that you hire is an extra 20, $30 an hour for you, whether they're working or not. That is paid to you by all these other companies. So let's say you're at 2022, 2023. Come on, Quizzer Prince. 2022, 2023, you got your whole stuff together. You didn't go spend your money on cars or anything to attract the wrong type of personnel into your life that's going to destroy it. You out here enjoying life, you're able to travel, you're able to do things. You're not worried about the opinion of non progressive men or women who cannot handle their infinite choice of men. That's no longer something that you need to worry about. The only thing that you got to worry about is you just got to manage that payroll and make sure people show up on time to do what they need to do. Those are the steps that everybody has went through who is separated. All those people separated using that exact same model. Or you could spend 8 years in the manosphere talking about bitches. That's right. And not getting them under control and watching them walk all over you and increasing your actual ability to talk about the same things over and over again to the point to where you haven't even progressed any at all in society, but you want everybody else to do the work for you. You see the amount of things that can be done with the same amount of time? The same thing can be done with the same amount of time. And guess what? I had to notice that I was not doing those things myself. I've seen people pass me up, lap me, had a very good life. Damn near, well, there was a situation wasn't as mine, but they was in a way better financial position, way better control over everything, way better outcomes, way better social circle, way better personal group of people that they have access to, way better credit, way better everything. It was going on Hall of Fame, what's going on Mid Alchemy, what's going on Spiritual Hope. And think about it. Why can I tell you what the steps are? Because I've been through it and I've escorted people through it. I remember the first dude who followed all my directions that was written in the actual game plan that I gave people. This is like 6 years ago. I was so fucking mad at that dude. Why I was mad at this dude was 23 years old. He got my game plan at 21. He disappeared off the field and he turned around and he did everything that I told him to do in that actual plan and he fucking retired. 23, working 6 months a year. Follow everything as it was stated in that plan to go from no CDL to a CDL to buying a truck. The shit worked so well that I had to go see this motherfucker. I had to go see him. Back then in Texas, you could buy 20 acres of 20 acres of land in the middle of nowhere, Texas, for like $1,000 an acre. It's damn near double that now. depending on where you are. And he just kept buying more and more acreage of land to plant corn on. Because I gave him the idea of rather just buying corn and holding it and trying to sell it to other countries, to just buying corn, turning it to ethanol, and holding that same product till certain part positions in the year to where you can sell it for way more than that. I was mad as fuck at this dude. This dude at the time, he didn't have no fucking kids, nothing. That dude didn't even have a degree, nothing. He was just a 20-year-old dude because back then you couldn't have a CDL unless you were 21 years old. Follow all the directions straight up. That dude had more toys than you know what to do with, and the only thing he did was expanded his primary base of income. It just kept having better and better outcomes. Dude, he's doing real well now. This dude, because he does crop rotation on his land, so this dude plant, pick, pack, seal, chill, and ship his own product to people. This dude is his own trucking company. He has his own manufacturing facility. He has his own third party logistics company, all under one roof. Why? Following simple ass directions. Y'all guys do. Yep. There's a bunch of trucks on the market right now. There's a bunch of people trying to get out of the industry because they don't know how the industry works. They want to go to the load board and they want the load board to give them the best loads on the planet. Stupid as shit. But this is what I mean by the same period of time that you waste here trying to wait for a woman to exhaust her infinite bags of D's. Dude, you could have been out of here by now. You could have been out of here. If you had a career field that your ass was concentrated on, bro, you could have been out of here. Hey, look, if you don't provide these dudes with the type of stagnation that they want, they're going to go find another vendor that's going to provide it for them. Because the last thing that most of these individuals want to do is they do not want the responsibility of understanding how things work. Yep, you can go in there, buy the authority for tens of cents on the dollar, turn around and skip all the headache of an actual authority that don't have any clout in the industry. You see it all the time. But you're gonna wait for a woman to give up infinite power rather than you go out here and find your own solution to this problem. This is your problem. This is not her problem. 123-year old. I probably gave that plan to probably about 500 people over 3 years. There's only four people out of 500 who followed those things directly to the result that was intended for the process. Four people out of 500. Four people. I keep telling you, man, as more and more of these immigrants get over here, start sleeping on floors, understanding the actual access to opportunity that you're not engaging in, those people are going to leapfrog you and they're not going to have any sympathy that your ass is even out here. No sympathy that you're languishing in communities that you don't care about, but you keep claiming that you do. Because I don't think it is an actual broken. boy problem that only women are trying to fix. It's a broken boy problem that men are attempting to try to fix. You got men now who are trying to feast off the soul of broken boys the same way that the wrong type of women used to do. Remember the wrong type of woman who wanted to help the boys succeed, wanted to pour all of this energy into somebody who wasn't worth the shit, who did not want to help anybody who was already productive be even more productive. They didn't want to leave anybody behind. Now you got men doing the same shit right now. You got men doing that right now. You got men within this space who's trying to be the broken godfather of these other men. They don't know how to evaluate information. They don't want to learn how anything works. They only want to be imbued with the actual ability to have the sense of entitlement that they could take the focus off them and focus on somebody else. That's what they're here for. So now you got men doing the same shit. That used to be an actual activity for broken women to do that for actual broken boys. Now you got men doing it for broken boys as well. Again, the only people who are complaining are the people who are losing. Those are the only people who are complaining. If you're trying to redirect your actual failure onto another group of people, that only means that you just ain't got your shit together as a person. That's all it is. The moment that you're trying to redirect this stuff onto women, feminism, LGBT, other bullshit that has to do with conspiracy theoretical type thought process because you're too stupid to fucking learn how shit works. Say it again. I don't complain about rattlesnakes. You want to know why? I don't take my ass walking off into the woods where rattlesnakes are located at. I just don't. So why would I go around making live streams based off me not wanting to deal with rattlesnakes if I don't intend on dealing with rattlesnakes at all? Makes all the sense in the world. But hey, unproductive men are their own problem. Unproductive men want to come out here and damage and destroy every single woman that they come in contact with because they don't want those people to somehow wake up to the fact that they're full of garbage. And this is why most of these people have come in here. They came in here to ensure nothing works. It ain't the woman. The woman can be left alone. The unproductive men, if you leave them to their own devices, the only thing they're going to do is destroy the children and destroy the women that are here. That's their job. Not the white man, not the government, not welfare, not anything. It's ain't shit unproductive men who are the threat to society. And always have been. The grand restructuring of complaints, which is what the manosphere has turned into, yes, it's not hard. It's very easy. If you understand how this thing works from beginning to end, it's really truly not that hard. The only thing you have to do is look at the men who want to make an actual position out of the relationship conversation. The women, it makes sense. It's their power that's at stake. But for men, men don't get a lot of power out of remaining on the society not being fulfilled. Men don't get anything out of that. There's no way you can balance your productivity with chasing multiple women within the environment. That's not possible. Most of these men want the same rights as women inside the society. They want to be able to sit around, do nothing, and gain all the benefits as if they were working beside somebody who was productive the entire time. And you mean to tell me I need to waste more of my time trying to get people to be productive? Like, bro, at some point, it just ain't in these dudes to do that. It doesn't matter how many personnel here who are bad. If you're going to accept a bad option, it's not the option for being bad. It's you for thinking you can deal with the option itself. You can't blame BGS. You can't blame Obsidian. At the end of the day, you are trying to deal with these people in your own timeline. It's not them. They're just escorting you to where you want to be at the end of the day. It's not their fault. It's you. You want to be talked into this bad deal. And you want to have the prescribed excuses to blame other people for the bad deal that you walked into. You truly think and you truly believe that if there are 100% feminine women inside of this society, that you at that point would get your shit together. I don't understand that. Hey, listen, happening all the time. Whenever I'm in rural America, I see a whole bunch of sheriff's office going to somebody's house. You see sheriff's office and all this stuff going to a place. Yeah, they're kicking these people up out of there. And then they have the nerve to tell you that, you know what, you as this type of person, well, you only restricted to this type of person that you're going to date. You're only restricted to this type of person that you're going to be with. It's always the people with no options and choices who want to actually restrict the options and choices of someone else. That's what they're on. And all this stuff that I'm seeing in rural America, it's the same shit that was happening when I was a teenager in Mississippi. It's the same shit. Job closing down, people refusing to skill up, people refusing to move to another area, and then they get kicked out of their shit. Sorry
Sorry
about
about
that. I
that. I
got
got
a phone
okay.
call. All right, there we go. But that was always the answer, though, Rona, son. That was always the answer: is stop caring. If they don't care, you should care way less than they do. You should care way less than they do. Because like what most of these people want to do is they want to come to you and humiliate and embarrass you about how much less of life they're actually living. But that's been a cultural standard for over 50 years. What happened when the new standard is, look, I'm gonna get my individual life together. I'm gonna get my stuff in order. I'm gonna stop thinking about the rest of the community. I'm going to challenge power. I'm going to move to different areas of the United States. I'm going to be able to work with actual individuals who's ready to go now. I'm not going to wait for these actual people who are far older than I am to do things. I'm just going to move to it right away. What's going on, Truth? As I know it. That's what I have to do during my time. Yes, most of the stuff very alone. Most of my stuff very uneventful. That's why it's okay for me to turn down all these deals that just show up all of a sudden out of nowhere. Because they think the only thing they had to do was just nest upon a dude who got their shit together. Except for when I remember all those times when I didn't have shit. I didn't have shit. No opinions, no nothing, no hangout buddies, not a damn thing. All that stuff I had to do on my own. That's why it's very easy for me not to team up with individuals and personnel who don't have their shit together really. They need a hangout person at the bottom. They need that. Whatever happened to me, bro, I'm out here taking it to these motherfuckers and getting paid for doing so. Seeing how things work in other areas, bringing those things to other areas that never had it. Bro, this stuff is too easy at this point. But it was a consistent effort. It didn't wait, I didn't wake up and it just happened all of a sudden. I had to keep doing it on my own. I had to keep doing it while being disciplined. I had to keep doing it while staying away from the wrong type of people, family included. They're the ones who kept trying to drag me off into shit. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. We got the perfect girl for you. Why don't you get rid of this? Why don't you have some of this? I'm like that. That shit looks a lot like consequences that you're currently living. Why would you try to offer me that? But that's the way it is. A lot of these people didn't care about that stuff. They didn't care because their position went from celebrating how socially ahead they were to realizing how socially behind they were. Then it went from celebrating for no good reason to destroying people who are in way better circumstances that they're in. That's how these things change from one thing to another, all within their lifetime. Rather than telling their kids or their nieces and nephews what they need to do, they're now the arbiters of holding this information back from people who can actually benefit from it. It's too easy to claim that you're pro black. It's too easy. Way too easy. It's too easy to claim that you care about the community. It's way too easy. It's way too easy to claim that your only issue is reparations. It's way too easy. It's way too easy without participating in the political system that you want a political solution to anything. It's way too easy. It's way too easy to go to Florida and try to take credit for their actual alimony bill. It's way too easy. It's almost as if they're waiting on everybody else to do things in society so that way they could just go take credit for it as if it is their accomplishments. Now imagine being in this mind state for 15 or 16 years. Were you waiting on someone else to accomplish something so that way you can immediately take credit for it? Now you become a parasite of everybody else's hard work while trying to find an excuse to pass time within your own life. Ever notice that people who ain't got their shit together, they got a lot of time to kill all the time, every day. They got nearly 24 hours a day to kill. Want to know why? They're not invested in anything. And then they want the woman to take the responsibility for their failed life. As if more submissive women show up, it's going to help you focus on the shit that you needed to be doing before the women even got here. That's why I keep saying it ain't the fucking women. Because if it was the woman, if you would have got your shit together, you just would have moved on to a different inventory. If it was the woman, at least you can afford to be in a different society, not the woman. The woman can't make you not be interested in politics. The woman don't have that kind of power, bro. The woman can't make you show up to a Mansfield meetup. The woman ain't got that type of power. To make you go meet in a room full of a bunch of unaccomplished dudes, women ain't got no power no like that. You think a woman got the ability to help you mismanage your own time? Yep, not the woman. Okay, let's say that tomorrow you made a magic wand, and boom, all the women who were dysfunctional that didn't act right are all of a sudden acting right all of a sudden, and they be with a whole bunch of these dudes who ain't got their shit together currently. How, if you tracked it over a 20-year time period, that you're going to get any different results than you currently have? If the outcome of the men who are sitting on the sideline don't have their shit together, if you give them exactly what they want, we're going to keep having the same problem over and over again. But they create emotionally damaged dudes so that way they can have a back key, an actual skeleton key back into your psyche. They never teach you how to be mentally strong so that way this shit can't be used against you. Dude, my grandfather was all about making sure I was mentally strong against weak minded ass people and unaccomplished people. He consistently taught me how to deal with these individuals. Consistently throwing these motherfuckers away. Consistently not giving a shit about what they thought. Only paying attention to their actions. Never giving a shit about apologies. Only giving a shit about the current level of circumstance and the actual outcomes of the kids to where he was going to actually believe the actual adults. That's what the fuck he was on. All the way into his death. What type of men do you think there was around that created the type of boys that we have to deal with in society today? I know we keep trying to blame the women and shit, but we ain't trying to blame these nothing ass dudes for leaving these women in these fucking circumstances, right? I mean, the women's only one part of it. Nobody talks about the nothing ass dude who put her in those circumstances. But then again, I gotta have that shit weaponized against me as if a couple strokes on the goddamn woman was gonna make me forget about the actual outcome of the shit I'm surrounded by. Again, these are the type of men that you're surrounded by. People who've never been to prison who believe in prison culture. How do you have these many people who've never been to prison believe in prison culture. Like, how do you get that shit? How do you get that as a society? How does your actual system of values fall to the point to where you don't even give a fuck about major shit? How does it even go that far low? How? Say it again. That's why you got to have 24 hours of BGS Itmore. That's why you need that. You need 24 hours of BGS Itmore to justify your position at the bottom. You need that shit. 24 fucking hours of BGS Itmore to be there. Come on, LL. You need 24 hours of stagnant men helping you feel comfortable with your own life in order for you to feel human. You need 24 hours of this shit. There has to be so much overcompensation for you to justify your position at the bottom. Yeah, man. Bro, I've been out here doing all kinds of stuff and enjoying the fuck out of myself. Yeah. I'm at the institutional level now. Institutional level, realizing these dumb motherfuckers ain't gonna change. Time to run this motherfucking score up on these dudes. You don't learn how shit works, you don't care about how it works, cool, no problem. About to walk in this motherfucker and take all this shit away from you. It's not even that big of a deal or an issue. Yep. They're here to make sure that most of those men who came here for answers are stuck in the same place. That's what they're here for. You can't leverage and you cannot grow foolishness past some point. You cannot leverage and you cannot grow dysfunction past some certain point. You can't do it. It's impossible. Impossible. But I got a lot of things coming down the pike. I'm thinking about creating a new channel that's not really this type of stuff motivated. And just doing other things that's not even related to this. I want to keep this here for live stream purposes, but all the upload channels that I have ideas for that I've been creating content for like the past 6 or 9 months, that's what I'm on now. What's going on, Great PO Podcast? What's going on, man? I mean, but the crazy thing is that we created a place to where productive men don't even have a space. Productive men started a space, and now that they've been emptied out of the actual space that they created by unproductive personnel. Crazy, isn't it? The people who don't participate in the system at all are the personnel who have all the complaints about how the system works. What's going on, Down B? Hey, look, man. When I took that whole year off, when I took that whole year off before going back to Germany for that 2014, 2015, before I became a content creator, dude, that was some of the best times in my life, man. That was worth the $65,000 that I spent on just partying all over the world and just existing as a human being. I damn near lost everything during that year, but let me tell you, it was very, dude. I mean, other than being homeless, I think that was the best education that I've ever got. Not really school based, but taking that year off, man, taking that year off. going everywhere I ever wanted, trying to look up all these human beings that I was in the military with, realizing that most of these people have died or went to jail or in prison or fucked up on drugs, just realizing how all this stuff, bro, it was worth it. Worth it. I can't tell you how much it was worth it, man. Taking that cruise from New York to Europe, man, it was great. Oh, it was great. Go back and revisiting all the military installations that I was on because at that time I was 100% disabled. So I was able to get on all these bases and actually go into all these dorms that I used to stay in, going back to all these chow halls who I used to like eat at, going back to all, just reliving everything, man. Just going back and just reflecting through it all, bro. Man, that shit was great. And I'm glad I did it. Now, I gained a bunch of weight and probably could have died if I stayed on that shit for like a couple more months. But I'm glad that I went through that shit. Nobody talks about the good times, man. Nobody talks about the good times that they're having within the manosphere. Everybody is waiting to be screwed over by a woman in the manosphere. Everybody's waiting on that. Everybody is waiting on getting married to the wrong type of woman that they know that they should be fucking with in the first place. That's what people are waiting on within the manosphere. Isn't that shit crazy? No one talks about the good times. No one talks about the bad times. Nobody talks about like I made like a live stream I think like 2 years ago talking about the losing of parents, and I'm glad I lost them early because losing my like if they was alive right now and they've been a part of my life right now and just losing them now, dude, it would have fucking destroyed a lot of shit. But the ability to learn how to survive by myself from back then to now, I can't. I don't want to rearrange shit to where I didn't have that experience. Yeah, that's what it is. They waiting to be screwed over by a woman so that way they have all these preset complaints that they could just serve up to the public. They spent no time dodging these circumstances. They spent no time dodging these consequences. None. Yeah. My grandfather probably worked from the moment that he was fucking born to the moment he fucking died. That dude never took no days off either. No days off. Caring about everybody else in the world but his own motherfucking self. Yeah, man, like our family pretty much disintegrated after my mother had died, man. Everybody was all the way done with the family shit by the time my mother got the fuck up out of here. Bro, my whole family was done with that shit. Bro, like my circumstances between my brothers and even some of my first cousins changed forever after my mom died. Everybody was done with that family shit. And people couldn't wait to be an individual. Couldn't wait. They couldn't wait to not be held to a responsible. They couldn't wait to not be held to account. We're not talking women here. We're talking mostly men. We're talking mostly men, bro. Yep. Same shit. That's how my dad died at an early age. The exact shit that you're saying, my dad lost his life at a very young age, giving more a fuck about people who were screwing him over rather than his own fucking family. Yes, sir. That's exactly how he lost his shit. Just like that. He would drive Monday through Friday. Then he worked for Tyson Chicken, I think in Birmingham, if it's still there. He used to drive from Birmingham, Alabama to Dallas. He would stop at the midpoint, which was our house, and he would be home every weekend. Yeah, man, some of that shit you gotta turn down, bro. You really do. Yeah, yeah. And it ain't and it ain't just low key family members either, man. Like that's why I enjoy going to these Thanksgiving, Christmas, and sometimes Fourth of July celebrations, man. Like I had bro, like I had like LGBT family members who would go up and try to try my fucking wife right in front of my fucking face, bro. That's how disrespectful motherfuckers are. Like that I'm not lying, dude. Like, dude, I've had a bunch of fucking disrespectful shit happen, dude. Like, bro, like, bro, a crazy amount of fucking disrespect. Crazy amount of fucking disrespect. No, you always have like the big bitches of the round table, like the single big bitches of the round table who have these thin ass, skinny ass fucking 120-pound ass fucking boyfriends that they just put in a headlock. Like you got those type of bitches who talk a bunch of stupid ass shit. Then you got the dudes who get their child fucking dropped off at them at like whatever family member's house for like the holidays, and then you got them dudes coming in here without an intact family trying to say shit about your wife choice selection. You got that bullshit going on. Then you got the way older motherfuckers who kept their shit consistently together, even though their kids ain't shit. They just chilling out and just being normal motherfuckers, and they're like the only other normal motherfuckers in the place. You got that shit going on, bro. Pre-game like a motherfucker, man. I'm like, nigga, ask Madden, nigga, ask Madden. You go to the bathroom, nobody's coming in the bathroom with you for no fucking reason. No, no, no. Don't talk to nobody. They're not your friends. They're not your friends. Don't give my motherfucking number to nobody. I can't stand these motherfuckers. Period. That's why I keep laughing when these motherfuckers say that, oh, I want me a woman from the South. A wholesome woman. I'm like, bro, you have no motherfucking idea who the fuck you trying to think that is a fucking chase fucking woman. Southern women? Nigga, are you out of your fucking mind? The women are fucking the entire city. And you think you gonna bring your new booty ass out there from fucking out of town and you about to run her? Man, look, man, bro, I don't know what's wrong with these motherfuckers, man. Bro, I don't know what's wrong with these dudes. I don't even say shit. I don't even bother correcting these motherfuckers. I just let them walk head first off into this bullshit, man. Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of them. A lot of them. Department of Energy. Most of them are for the Department of the Army specifically. That's what most of them are. Department of the Army. But yeah, they got a lot of them over there. A lot of them. But Joseph Majors, I hate to give you this type of advice, but nigga, you need to work for the post office. Bro, you can get your CDL, walk into the post office, and you can make about 60, $70,000 a year and be home every motherfucking night. But see, people don't know that shit about the post office though. You can walk in with a CDL, fresh off killing a motherfucker, and you'll get on with the post office. fresh. Post office, it's damn near impossible for them dudes to even find somebody with a CDL who want to work for the post office. The post office can't get nobody to get a CDL when they work for them. Bro, post office. Let me tell you. Post office, you don't even need no motherfucking hazmat, twit card, or motherfucking tanker. You can just work at the post office and be straight up chilling. But people don't want to work, man. And then they get mad when Jose is over there and his whole family get on at the fucking post office. Because Asians run the post office, except for when it comes to driving. Like they don't do the driving shit, but they do everything else. Bro, we should be winning out here. And you gotta be dealing with other people who are fucking winning. If you're dealing with these complaining ass fucking pro blacks, bro, your life gonna stay fucked up. It's gonna stay fucked up forever. Because most successful pro blacks ain't even married to black women. That's the fucked up part about it. Most of these pro black motherfuckers, they're not even married to black women, still pushing this pro black shit. Not even with a black woman, pushing this fucking black boy agenda based bullshit. Not even with him. Not even with the precursor that actually start the circumstances. Shit fucking crazy. Shit fucking crazy, bro. They don't even bother trying to pass the information down to the kids that actually need it. That they don't even do that shit. They don't even do it. So that's what I've been, man. That's what I've been. I've been out here doing way other things, man. Glad I ain't got to do live streams on shit that's happening in the fucking world. I could just make money off the information that I know. That's how you know your information is true. You can go out here and you can make money off your fucking information. And I'm not talking about game or stupid shit like dumbass points of fucking manipulation, man. Fuck all that. At the end of the day, you should be able to put what you have into action and make money off of it. Unless you're an ain't shit dude, then you can't put nothing into action. But at the end of the day, you gotta leave these people to their own devices, man. They want room at the bottom. That's what they want. They want you to actually feel sorry for them and their circumstances so that way you can stop all of your progress to focus on their actual actions, man. Don't ever fall for no bullshit like that. Please don't fall for no bullshit like that. These people are losing on purpose. They want somebody else to solve all their problems for them. And let me tell you, the amount of nonprofit money that's out there so that way you can solve these miniature problems in these people's life is immense. Don't do this shit for free. Do not do it for free. If they want to sit here and be dumb as fuck, make sure, and I mean damn sure, that you're not out there joining. It's too easy to go out here and get this money nowadays. It's too easy to go to the workforce center and get job training for a new career field right now. It's too easy. You don't even have the excuse of even being born in Mississippi as the fucking idea. I'm from Mississippi. Like, bro, you can easily move in with another family member out of state and get your shit together. Dude, I brought so many people from Mississippi to like Denver, and they immediately got their shit together the moment that they were around opportunity. Now they spent a bunch of money on some bullshit that they need to get out of their system, but at the end of the day, they were still cool once they got to the opportunity. So that's what I've been up to, man. And it has been highly enjoyable not looking at the faces and the actual time and work that people got to put in trying to keep these stagnant as men entertained. Bro, I am glad that I ain't got that motherfucking burden, bro. I'm glad I ain't got that burden of trying to keep these non productive men still unproductive. I'm glad I do not have that burden. My God, I'm glad I do not have that burden. I don't want to have the burden of having a 24-hour live stream running, trying to keep these dudes being ran back into the wrong type of woman. Bro, I am fucking glad that I have not signed up for that. I'm glad I ain't got to be an online dumb nigga. God damn, bro, that sound like a it sound like a worthless ass fucking life. I got to be a dumb nigga forever, bro. I don't want nothing to do with that shit. Nothing to do with it. Yeah, I got to get some sleep because I got to wake up tomorrow and get the fuck up out of here. It is amazing how many people are sleeping in these Walmart parking lots, bro. I think I bought like three, maybe she bought two. Yeah, I think we bought like five thermal sleeping bags for these people out here, man. These people out here freezing like a motherfucker in these goddamn cars out here, in these vans out here and shit. Yeah, man, bro. It ain't even a job that I'm doing, man. It's just seeing these people suffering the fucking consequences when they don't have to. Like right now, I'm in Creek, Nebraska. There's a bunch of places to work in Creek, Nebraska that is easy as fuck to work at. But you got all these homeless ass motherfucking people in this area who refuse to fucking work. They refuse to work and they're just out here. You know, they get a check from the government or whatever that these people think that is exclusively going to black women for some dumbass reason. And these people are just living out of Walmart parking lot. Walmart has like 24-hour security from like 20 or 30 different families. Shit's fucking crazy. Can't manage their money, can't manage their time, don't want to skill up, having all these kids by whoever fucking comes along. Bro, this ain't just a black thing, man. This is an American thing. So, I want to thank you guys for coming through. I am the man tomorrow, president of the Black Manosphere, a place where we talk about self improvement and making sure that you're actually doing something productive with your actual life. So that way you're not trying to be the next entertainer out here trying to make it big online. So I want to thank you guys for coming through. Make sure you hit the like button on the way out. And you guys have a really nice rest of y'all night. Peace.